Hey everyone, my name is Iain and my text this morning is Romans chapter 8, verse 26. This text is some of the best news a Christ follower could want to hear. Let me read it for you. Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. Isn't that good news already? For we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. This is the most incredible picture Paul gives us of the role of the Trinity of God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in our lives. To help explain this, I've pulled out my kite surfing bar and my harness. This bar runs up to my curtain rail, but actually would go up to a 12 square meter kite that would sit about 20 meters up from this bar. That kite, in an average day wind, 15-20 knots, would generate about 120 horsepower worth of power. That's like a 120 horsepower engine off the back of a speedboat. So it's really powerful. Can you imagine holding on for dear life, being out at sea without being connected into the harness? You've got maybe 6 or 7 minutes. It's like, imagine hanging out of a tree on a branch or on the bar of a jungle gym, just in your own strength. 6 minutes max and your hands will start to ache. Your forearms will be exhausted and eventually you are undone. This is much like our lives. We all have a limited ability in our strength to hold on, especially when the wind and the waves get a bit wild, like the season we're in. A kite this powerful could thrash you around a bit like a ragdoll. You might be feeling a bit ragdolled around in this time. It might be a job that's been lost, a family member or friend that's really sick, just general financial pressure, or just the anxiety or the fear of a season that is just so unknown. And you're feeling tired and weary. And possibly in your prayer life, as Paul mentions, is that you've prayed as much as you can and you actually don't know what else to pray, and you are weary and weak even in your prayer life. And that's okay, because what Paul's telling us is not only has God the Father given us His Son to save us and restore us and give us new life, but He's given us His Holy Spirit, who's much like this harness. He seals that salvation and then wraps us up and connects us to God. And so just like this kite, the beauty of what Paul is saying is that we no longer have to hold on with our own strength. The Holy Spirit, who knows us better than we know ourselves, He knows those inner groanings, the emotion, the turmoil in our hearts that we might be going through during this season. He then connects us to God. He then intercedes for us and prays the perfect prayer for us. The beauty of that, friend, is that the breakthrough that you and I might be trusting for in the season that we're in is no longer dependent on the amount of strength we muster up in our prayer life, but in our prayer life, acknowledging our weakness and His strength. And in doing so, it connects us into the life of God. And we no longer have to hold on for dear life, but we get to rest back into the life of God and enjoy the Holy Spirit that wraps around us, much like this harness, who connects us to God and intercedes by praying the perfect prayer on our behalf. Isn't that just incredible news? What an amazing God we serve. Have an incredible day. Cheers.